Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome once again to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. WWE Summerslam is this coming Sunday, live on pay-per-view. I will be there at Staples Center for the 5th consecutive year to cover the event for NoDQ.com. Got a lot of questions here regarding Raw and SummerSlam, so as I always say every video, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right down to it. First one today comes from Multi-Trick 100. Hey Aaron, what did you think of Raw? I thought it was overall a good show, and I really liked the Brock Punk and Bryan Cena segments. Also with Ambrose and RVD for the US title, I really have high expectations for this year's SummerSlam being the best ever. And I got another question here from Miguel, 10/22/96. Don't know if that's your birthday or not. Did this week's Raw increase or decrease your interest in SummerSlam this Sunday? Overall, I'll give Raw a thumbs up. I thought it was a good show. Overall, good build-up for SummerSlam. I really enjoyed the Battle Royal, and I'm looking forward to Dean Ambrose versus RVD this Sunday. I'll get to more on that in a minute. I enjoyed the final segment with Paul Heyman, CM Punk, and Brock Lesnar. I thought that the build-up with Christian and Del Rio was good. I liked the video package they aired for Christian to build him up as the #1 contender. So, I mean, there were some things WWE did I liked, but I felt that when it was over, I am definitely not as interested in the main event as I was in previous weeks. And I'm talking about Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. So definitely for that match, my interest has decreased. And I'll tell you why here. I thought that segment with John Cena and Daniel Bryan on Miz TV, I just wasn't feeling it. I thought that it was very forced. It felt like two guys were reciting a script and just going out there and delivering their lines. And granted, the delivery was good, but it's stuff we've seen already. I mean, they've done this angle before where somebody calls out John Cena for not being a good wrestler and says that he's the best wrestler. I mean, it's basically just a copy of John Cena versus CM Punk from 2 years ago with Daniel Bryan in CM Punk's role. And I was bored by the segment. I mean, I've seen it before, and it just didn't feel fresh to me. And I sensed that the crowd wasn't really feeling it much either. I mean, Daniel Bryan was there talking. He had a lot of passion, but then he had this line where he said, you know, John, you're trying to say that all these other guys were better than me. And some fan immediately yells out, "They are." And I thought that was telling. I mean, it reminded me of a segment from 2002 when Shawn Michaels had joined the NWO, and he was out there, he was just going on and on rambling, and some fan just yelled out, "Get to the point." And that's kind of how I felt here. I felt like the segment was just dragging on too long, and it was just the same old thing we've heard time and time again. So I wasn't a big fan of the segment at all. And I'm definitely not a fan of Triple H being the special guest referee because it's the same thing we've seen before. 2 years ago at SummerSlam, Triple H was the special guest referee. And here's the thing. Going into this match with CM Punk and Bryan, or John Cena and Daniel Bryan, I was expecting there to be some sort of screwy finish. I would have been surprised if the match ended clean. But now, with Triple H being the guest referee, I mean, you might as well just put a big neon sign out there saying this match is going to have a screwy finish. So I'm not a fan of it. It takes away the element of speculation in regards to how the match might end. Would John Cena tap out? Will Daniel Bryan win cleanly? I mean, we know now that's not going to happen. We know that something's going to happen here with Vince coming out or Randy Orton coming out. So, I mean, I don't really care for it. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it's necessary for Triple H to be the guest referee. They could have just done the normal match and then maybe had Triple H come out, like have the referee take a bump and then Triple H comes out in the referee's shirt. That, I think, would have been better than just having Triple H announced as the referee. I think it takes away from the match, and that's my big issue with that main event and Raw in general. I just didn't like the stuff with John Cena, Daniel Bryan, and Triple H. Next question here. Well, basically, I already covered it here from Sting HBK 316 about Triple H is the special referee. I mean, I said pretty much everything that was on my mind regarding that. Next question here from Joe Breeze 10. Here's an idea no one has mentioned. What if the World Heavyweight title match went on before the Rhodes and Sandow match? Sandow cashes in and wins, then defends against Cody later. Do you see this as a possibility? If so, who should win the Rhodes-Sandow match? I don't think this is going to happen. Right now, Cody Rhodes is still very uncertain as a babyface. He actually hasn't had a pay-per-view match yet as a babyface, so I think it's too early to put them in a world title match just because I don't know if Cody Rhodes is going to be cheered like a major babyface. I mean, for all we know, this Sunday, Sandow and Rhodes will go out there and the crowd will be dead for the match. I mean, it's really... there's no way to know how the fans are going to react. So I think until you know if Cody Rhodes is working as a babyface or not, I think you need to hold off on putting them in a world title match. I just think that would be too risky to do something like that. And, with the Money in the Bank briefcases, people were speculating about Orton and Sandow. I think the fact that they've been hyping it up so much and teasing it makes me think it's not going to happen. I think that both cash-ins will more than likely happen when fans are not expecting it, when WWE's not teasing it. So the fact that they're saying, Randy Orton's going to possibly cash it in, or Sandow, I think it's unlikely. I think the odds are against it happening. But yeah, I think you need to go a little bit longer with Sandow and Cody Rhodes and see how the crowd reacts before you would commit to putting them in a world title match. All right, this one comes from James Ryan 37401. What is wrong with WWE? Why is Rob Van Dam on the pre-show? Rob Van Dam, the whole effing pre-show. I really don't have a good answer for you other than the fact that WWE wants to have a marquee match on the pre-show to try to get people watching it on their website and YouTube or whatever. In my opinion, it should be on the main pay-per-view. I think that match does have a lot of potential to be really good. And, a few other people asked me who you think will win this one. Do you think RVD will win the U.S. title? I don't think so. Some people are upset about how RVD is being handled. And, I told you guys this going in. RVD came into WWE and he was going to be in a similar role as Chris Jericho, where he would come in, make a big impact, but then he would be working with some of the younger talent and helping get them over. I mean, that's what RVD is doing in WWE right now. He's helping out the younger talent and getting them over. So, I do think it should be on the pay-per-view, but, whatever. It should be a really good match, and if they go out there and tear the house down, people watching it that are still on the fence about ordering SummerSlam will say, hey, this match was really good, maybe I'll get the show. So I mean, in a way, it's good. It shows that WWE feels that they might be able to generate some extra buys with RVD and Dean Ambrose going out there and having a really good match. So I mean, whatever. At least I'll get to see it in person, so, I'm happy about that. Doesn't matter to me. It's all the same thing. The pre-show and the pay-per-view itself, it's all one and the same for me. All right, this last one today comes from RPG247. Hey, Aaron, great show. I've been watching your WCW Wednesday videos, and they got a co-worker, and I was thinking about the Natural Born Thrillers. I was wondering what you thought of Sean O'Hare and Mark Jindrak and why they didn't make it in WWE. Please answer in video. Well, as far as Mark Jindrak goes, he had a good look. He was a big guy, but he didn't really have any kind of personality, and he didn't stand out to me at all. Sean O'Hare, on the other hand, I don't know what happened with that guy. I don't know why he didn't go farther in WWE. He had a great look, and I actually really liked that gimmick that they gave him in 2003 with those promos and having Roddy Piper under, being his mentor. I thought that was really good stuff, and, I liked that character. So I don't know why it just fell flat, and, he ended up disappearing shortly thereafter. But, Sean O'Hare should have been a much bigger star than he was, in my opinion. So, I really don't know what the deal is and what happened, sometimes things don't work out for whatever reason. Alright, that'll do it for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/NoDQ.DOTCOM. And you can also follow me at Aaron Rift. I will be tweeting this Sunday on location at Staples Center. And the feed will be on NoDQ.com. And of course, we will have the usual live pay-per-view results on NoDQ.com. So stay tuned to NoDQ all this weekend for the latest regarding SummerSlam. I have several friends that will be at the Access events, and maybe we'll get some reports on that as well. So stay tuned to NoDQ, and I will see you guys next time for more NoDQ&A video.